Good morning, everyone. Welcome into the Farzy Show. My name is Marc Farzetta here at the Steven Singer Studios. We're going to bring something back. We're going to bring something back called the Farzy Five. I've done a lot of it throughout this, the time of the football season. But I've avoided some specifics. But I'm going to get down to brass tacks with you today because I feel like we need a Farzy Five. Now, usually it's just a list of 5 things that pissed me off during a loss and 5 things that made me happy during a win. Got to be honest with you today. It's going to be a little smorgasbord of 5 different things as we lead off today's show. So welcome in once again to the Steven Singer Studios. Number 5 on the list. If you look at a box score, which I hope you never just look at a box score if you miss the game and go, oh, okay, that's what happened in the game today. Okay, true. Numbers, they never lie. But what do I always tell you? They can deceive. And this would be a game where you look at Jalen Hurts' numbers and you don't see something like 25 for 35 for 350 yards and 2 touchdowns, whatever it might be. That's not the game Jalen Hurts had. But Jalen Hurts played one of his best games, if not his best game, as a member of the Philadelphia Eagles to date. Oh, Marc, he overthrew Devontae Smith in the end zone. He overthrew Dallas Goedert on a 3rd down, and it would have been a touchdown if he would have hit him in stride. You're absolutely right. Those are 2 horribly missed throws. One, there was pressure. One, the other, not so much. He can't do that. He's got to be able to make those throws, especially the one to Dallas Goedert that he missed. And he even admitted after the game he wishes he had that throw back. He wishes he had the one to Devontae Smith back. However, push came to shove in the 4th quarter of this football game. And for once, we really can't look at Nick Sirianni and say, oh, Nick Sirianni, get out of Jalen Hurts' way. This play calling is terrible. Take the load off, take some of the workload off his shoulders. Don't make him throw every down. Run the football. In the 4th quarter, when they were driving to try to tie the score at 24-24, which they did, thanks to Jalen Hurts, he was phenomenal. He converted 2 separate 3rd downs, one with the flip with his legs, the other with his legs again. He made those plays happen with his legs. You saw him go down the field to Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, make those completions, hit those guys in stride, make plays when he needed to make plays. When you're down 24-17, Justin Herbert scores that touchdown. You're looking immediately at Nick Sirianni, thinking to yourself, all right, make sure this is a good game plan. Make sure the play calling is on point here. And Jalen Hurts, hey, your coach so far this game hasn't given us any reason to think he's going to let us down here. So it's going to be on your shoulders as the quarterback in crunch time. We've seen him do it against the Chiefs where he performed, not great, but performed in that 4th quarter, even though they lost. We've seen him perform well in their last win against the Panthers prior to the Lions. We saw him play well throughout the Lions game. That's fine, but the workload was even more off his shoulders in that game. Plus, it was a blowout, so you knew they had it. This game where you needed a touchdown from your want-to-be franchise quarterback in Jalen Hurts, saying that he wants to be the franchise quarterback, he performed and was perfect on that drive. As a guy, and I've said it all season long, I'm not betting on Jalen Hurts to be the 10-year contract guy and franchise quarterback, whatever it might be. I'm not betting on it, but I'm rooting for it because I love his mindset. I love his approach to the game. I love his work ethic, all that. And I even tweeted out during the game. It was great to see the work ethic, the mindset, and all that pay off and actually show production. And a word that Jalen Hurts hates, it actually showed results. Oh, you can't look at the results. Well, on that drive, I can look at the results. And you performed. You did what you were supposed to do. So kudos to Jalen Hurts. As part of my Farzy 5, he's number 5 right there. Is number 1 thing I wanted to point out, or one of the first things I wanted to point out for that particular game from Jalen Hurts. Number 4, I got to look at Nick Sirianni. Again, as a positive for Nick Sirianni. Now, he did have me a little worried early in the game because in my mind, I'm thinking about what he did against the Lions and what he said he was going to do after they played the Lions. And after that game, if you remember, he went into his press conference and he said that of the first 7 scripted plays, 5 of those were runs. Cool. One of those were runs against the Chargers defense that was the worst in the NFL. Not one of the worst in the NFL at stopping the run. And I saw 1 run in that first series, first 8 plays. And I'm thinking, well, that ain't it, Nick. So let's get around to it here and start running the football again. And then they did. And then the offense started going. And that was a whole different ballgame from that point on. The Eagles had control. The Chargers couldn't stop them to save their lives. Jordan Howard's running up the middle. Boston Scott running up the middle. Jalen Hurts scrambling for first down. Like, all that was just great. And it kept them off balance the entire time and made the job so much easier for Jalen Hurts as the game went on. So Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, kudos to you guys. Kudos to both of you for what you were able to do in this particular game. And Nick Sirianni, I mean, a little worried early, but you improved. You took a step forward in this game. You did exactly what I wanted you to do going into this game, which was you were going to come out and apply a lot of the same philosophies that you had against the Lions, and you were going to apply them against the LA Chargers, and that's exactly what you did in this game. Even when I was most worried, which was when they went down 24-17, or anytime the Chargers took a lead 16-10, whatever it was, there was no panic button hit by Nick Sirianni, and that's what I was waiting for in this game. And he threw it out the window, and he said, that ain't happening in this particular game. He kept the balance intact. He stuck with what works, never jumped on the panic button, smashed that panic button to say, all right, well, we got to just start throwing the ball here because we're down in the fourth quarter. All right. No, he stuck with it. Good for you, Nick Sirianni. There is 2 positives. And now I'm done with the positives. Let's move on to the negatives, and let's have some real talk here, folks. Darius Slay. I'm going to be more fair to you, and not just fair, but accurate. All right, I believe accurate in describing the way you played this game. Not your best. Certainly not your best. Definitely not your worst. However, anything you did in the fourth quarter, I'm sure you wish you had back. The stop on stop on the 4th and goal in the first quarter, good for you. That's a way to come up and make that play, way to be. Jonathan Gannon's defense, even his linebackers, TJ Edwards, they look good in this game. Davion Taylor, aggressive in this game. You guys were aggressive early in this game, making plays in the first half. Second half, not so much. Second half, Darius Slay he gives up the long 49-yard touchdown reception to Mike Williams, who I said before the game, make sure you don't get him going. You really didn't get him going, but he got going on that one particular play, and that was on Darius Slay. The reason I'm going to be more fair with Darius Slay is because he was right there to make a play. There was supposed to be over-the-top safety help. At least that's the way Charles Davis described it, and that made sense by watching the replay of it from the all-22 angle. Looked like Rodney McLeod was supposed to stay home. He didn't. He bit. He played up, and he had no over-the-top safety help. Darius Slay was still there, stride for stride. Bottom line, didn't make the play. He's paid the big bucks to make big plays. Didn't do it on that particular possession. Then one of the next plays on that drive. Like there's a GIF on social media of like a cat swatting away a kitten. And it was like, just swatting him away like it was nothing. That's exactly what Perman did on that particular play. For the 24th points of the game there for the Chargers. Not Darius Slay's best work. The man's 6'8". I don't know what Slay was supposed to do on that play. Maybe tackle his legs. I can remember my head coach, my 1 year football, Richard Wood, saying, "Forza, go for the legs." Oh yeah, okay, thanks, coach. It's basic tackling. If the guy's bigger than you, go for the legs. You should always go for the legs. Wrap him up, take him down. But he obviously forgot that and was trying to tackle him up top. Why? I don't know. But that's what he was trying to do. He also had the pass interference call, which I thought could have gone either way. It looked like they were hand fighting. I thought they could have gone either way. I would have let it go if I was an official, and that's not just because I'm rooting for the Eagles to win football games, but that's because I thought both players were pushing off each other. 9 times out of 10, though, as you know, in the NFL, the offensive players need to get the benefit of the doubt. Darius Slay knows that. And then he was pretty much done after that, literally done. He had an injury, and we'll see the severity of that little later on. But did not have his best game by far, did not have his worst game by far, but still he's got to make those big plays. They end up being the big game-changing moments. He's number 3. Number 2, Fletcher Cox. Let me ask you a question. Are you paid to stop on screens? No. Okay, we covered that. You're not paid to screen. Okay, all right. You're paid to get after the quarterback. We know that. You're paid to get after the quarterback, which you haven't done. Okay, so there you go. You haven't done, regardless of whether or not you're schemed to do it either. The bottom line is you haven't done it. Let me try this. Are you paid to make stops on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 3rd and short, 4th and short? Are you paid? Is that under the requirement of your job description? Is that in there in the contract to make stops on 3rd and 4th and 1? Because I see Eckler run up the middle. I see Herbert get a quarterback sneak. I see on that drive converting on those 3rd and 4th and shorts, and he can't get off the field. So at what point is this defensive line in general, not just Fletcher? At least I saw Javon Hargrave actually make a tackle on that series. At what point is this defensive line, these 2 stud defensive tackles? Hargrave had a great start of the season. Now that's kind of gone by the wayside. At what point are you going to see these guys in the middle of your defensive line step up and really make plays for you? And at what point is number one on my list going to actually put them in the right position to do it? So I look at Fletcher Cox a lot on this, especially that last drive, where you see the quarterback sneak and you see him running up the middle and you see Eckler get the huge, basically game icing first down with that, whatever it was, 10-yard run that they had right before they kicked the field goal in the final seconds of the game. Fletcher Cox, you got to make a play on that. Regardless of if the handcuffs are on you from your defensive coordinator, that's one thing that definitely falls in your contract as something you're paid to do. Make a play. And that's when they needed to do the most, to make a play. Javon Hargrave didn't get a tackle for loss there. You're already out. Josh Sweat on the defensive end. To me, you got to make a play on that series. As a player, Fletcher Cox has got to make a play on that series. And number one on my list, I will refer to this tweet by Jeff McClain after the game. For the fifth time this season, fifth time in the last 7 games, the Eagles defense allowed an opposing quarterback to complete more than 80% of his passes. 80% of his passes. Justin Herbert completed 32 of 38 for 84.2%, 356 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Eagles right now are on pace at about 74-75% to allow the highest team completion percentage this season and forever. The worst allowed completion percentage ever. Ever. Think about that for a second. At what point as a defensive coordinator are you going to say, this ain't it? Man, what I'm doing right now, that ain't it. I got to change it up just a little bit. And maybe, just while we're brainstorming here, maybe a good time to change things up a little bit would have been on that 24-24 drive at the end of the game, where Justin Herbert threw, I believe, 1 incompletion, was not rushed, was not hurried, was not touched. Not one blitz was thrown his way. Instead, just like I predicted on Friday, which, by the way, just while I'm patting myself on the back, I predicted a 27-23 Eagles loss. I was off by a point. But while you're watching that drive unfold, you don't send one guy to pressure the quarterback. Instead, with 5-6 minutes left in the game, prevent defense, baby. It's like watching Jim Schwartz without any success. Like, that's really what it's like. Like, at least with Jim Schwartz's defense, you can look at the defensive line and go, they're going to get home eventually. And then you're watching Jonathan Gannon and you're going, oh, no, they're not going to get home. This is it. If they're not getting home like this, they're not getting home at all. I saw 2 blitzes in the first half. One of them was Steven Nelson, friend of the show. But Steven Nelson gets sent on a corner blitz, and he ends up hitting Justin Herbert too low, gets flagged for the penalty, 15 yards. There you go. So that was pretty much a deterrent, I guess, for Jonathan Gannon the rest of the way, because I don't think I saw another blitz for the rest of the game after that. But what I was worried about, and what I was talking about on Friday, was you can't sit back with Justin Herbert, because if you thought Derek Carr was going to pick you apart to the point of 90-plus completion percentage and do whatever the hell he damn well pleased in that pocket, Justin Herbert's going to be 10 times worse, and he was in this game because you allowed him to get comfortable. Jonathan Gannon, number one on the Farzy 5 for the negative side of things as to why the hell he allowed Justin Herbert to sit back, get comfortable, relax, and just deliver the football wherever he damn well pleased. At some point, you got to make an adjustment. At some point, you got to make a change. And when we hear from the Rothman Orthopaedics post-game report, when we let you hear from Nick Sirianni, we're also going to let you hear from Javon Hargrave, who becomes the second player this season to go, I don't call the plays, guys. Let's not get crazy here. I'm not the guy making the call. I'm just a defensive tackle trying to make a play for myself. I'm doing what the coach asked me to do. I wonder if this is how it works. Like, we've heard from Nick Sirianni, who I have given him credit for, and I've called it like I see it all year with him. I give him credit for the last 2 games doing what he was at least supposed to do, what worked for his offense, sticking with it, regardless of whether or not that's what Jeffrey Lurie wanted or whether or not that's what his brain, his little pass angel on his shoulder was telling him, keep passing, more screen passes. No, he ignored that, and he kept going. and he stuck with what was working. So good for him for that. But he listened to his offensive lineman in Detroit. I'm sure he listened to his offensive lineman again today or yesterday against the Chargers. Is Jonathan Gannon getting any input from his defensive players? Fletcher Cox has said, after they lost to the Raiders, that he's not the guy to coach the team. He doesn't get paid to call the defense. He's a leader on the team, but he's not going to talk to the defensive coordinator about the type of defense they're running and whether or not they should be more aggressive. Jason Kelce does it as a leader on offense. Lane Johnson does it as a leader on offense. Why can't Fletcher Cox do that as a leader on defense? Jonathan Gannon said the two talked. You wouldn't know it watching this game. Javon Hargrave is a defensive leader on this team as well. He's a veteran. Can he talk to Jonathan Gannon about it? I understand he's not going to call out his head coach and say, oh, you want to know why we weren't getting home? It's because my defensive coordinator doesn't really have a scheme. He has a philosophy, and the philosophy sucks. Is that what he's going to say? No, that's not what he's going to say. But anytime a player takes the sidestep and go, ooh, I'm not going to touch that. I'm not the guy calling plays. Well, how about you give us a logical answer as to why you wouldn't blitz, as to why you wouldn't apply pressure, as to why, in 4 home games, you've gotten to the quarterback once? Maybe you can explain that as to why that's happening, as opposed to, I don't get paid. I don't do that. That's not me. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to provide an answer to why you guys can't get home. Why are you on pace to have the worst completion percentage in the history of the NFL? Can you look at your defensive backs? Absolutely, you can look at your defensive backs. I can also look to the idea that a quarterback is wildly comfortable because nobody's coming after him. Ever. Nick Sirianni, all the credit in the world. You took the philosophies of the Lions game, you applied it to this game, and they worked for you phenomenally well. Jonathan Gannon, a lot of the philosophies you could have used against the Lions and did use against the Lions, you could have used against the Chargers. Apparently that wasn't going to happen. For whatever reason, that wasn't making it into yesterday's game plan. And to me, that's just terrible. We've heard from Jonathan Gannon through the week leading up to this game that Nick Sirianni called him one time after a rough game. I think it was against the Raiders. And he just said, hey, man, how you doing? Like calling him as a human being, as a friend, as not his boss, but a colleague, friend. How you doing, man? It's rough, right? This is rough. Well, I think after this game, you're going to get a little bit more of the agitated Nick Sirianni for a multitude of reasons. And in case you missed it, and I hope he does, because we all believe in accountability, holding people accountable. Now would be a good time to hold Jonathan Gannon accountable again. But after the game, Jamie Apodi of 6ABC found had video. I don't know if somebody sent it to her, if she was home watching it, whatever it was. But Jamie Apodi had video of Nick Sirianni walking off the field with Big Dom, the Eagles security guard. And somebody apparently, you can't see the bouquet of flowers, but somebody apparently threw a bouquet of flowers at Nick Sirianni, to which that really pissed him off. And he said something to the fan and whoever it was. You can't see it, so I'm not going to show it to you, but you just see him just kind of start jawing at a fan, and then he gets escorted back into the building, into the tunnel. It was while he was walking into the tunnel, just before he got into the tunnel, somebody threw something, and that apparently rubbed the coach the wrong way, and they were yelling at the fan. You can't see the flowers. It's not like the popcorn incident at the Sixers game last year in the playoffs where somebody dumped the popcorn on someone, like on Russell Westbrook. You can't. You can see that clearly. You can't see this clearly. But it's the same type of situation, walking right off, almost to be in the tunnel, and they throw something at him. Like, there's no room for that. I don't care if it's a bowling ball. I don't care if it's a bag of popcorn. I don't care if it's flowers. That's wildly disrespectful. No, it's just a little bit of this. No, it's extremely disrespectful. So the coach didn't deserve that. He's still a human being. So let's just let him walk off in peace. And he wasn't the reason they lost this game yesterday. But I could see if going into this game or going into this week of practice, getting ready for the Broncos coming up, I could see if Nick Sirianni is going to have a little bit more of an attitude or an edge about him. To his credit, in his post-game news conference, he was calm, cool, collected, and didn't really get into too much. I thought it was weak after the game. He was questioning the referees on the offensive line, illegal man downfield. I think he was 3 yards up as opposed to 2. And the Eagles have certainly had their problems with that. And this was on the game-winning drive. and referee officials chose not to make a play there, not to throw a flag. I'm too focused on the fact that they were able to get off the field or stay on the field at 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 multiple times on that drive. I'm more concerned with that than I am looking for the officials to bail me out or bail the Eagles out of actually making a play. So, in conclusion, with the Farzy 5 today, Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, 5 and 4 in the positive light. Darius Slay, number 3 in the negative light, as is Fletcher Cox and Jonathan Gannon. Look, we watched Jim Schwartz here and go to the stick defense time and time again, and we used to yell and scream about the sticks. When in actuality, the sticks defense worked for the Eagles on multiple occasions. It was the 1 or 2 times they actually got burned by it that it sticks in everybody's brain. Jonathan Gannon feels like he's always in the sticks defense and does not make adjustments. At least it feels like he doesn't make adjustments. I'm not seeing adjustments. The only adjustments I saw were be less aggressive, which doesn't make any damn sense to me. Be less aggressive? Make the quarterback more comfortable as the game goes on? That's a bold strategy, Cotton. So watching this game play out, a couple of things that I would have liked to have seen from the defensive coordinator. Davion Taylor, who whiffed big time it was Eckler in that fourth quarter drive, whiffed big time. He was looking to hit somebody all day. TJ Edwards had one of his best games. He was looking to hit somebody all day. He actually came up and made a stop early in that game-winning drive with Keenan Allen. He popped Keenan Allen before they actually ended up converting on the 4th down. But he was looking to hit somebody. Either one of those guys, Davion Taylor, good speed, TJ Edwards, very aggressive, send them in the backfield. Let them make a play. Instead of just sitting back and letting the offense dictate to you what they're going to do, how about you dictate a little bit to the offense and say, all right, you're comfortable? You're getting cozy back there? Let me tuck you in and end this drive. One time. Just to show something different, just to show the quarterback that you're going to come after him, just to put it in his head that you could actually come after him. And I made this point when I was on with Devin Caney and Derek Gunn after the game yesterday, and I'll reiterate this again. For me, it feels like blitzes have become runs. And here's what I mean by that. We would look at the run game in the first handful of games this season, really the first 6 games of this season, and we'd say, Nick Sirianni, why don't you run the ball? Even if you're going to fail, you still have to make the defense think you're going to do it. Same thing when I talk about these blitzes. When we talk about these blitzes, you still got to make the offense think you're going to do it at some point. You can't just let a quarterback sit back there and be like, oh, I got 2 seconds. No problem. Complete. Even if Derek Carr can do it, guess what? Justin Herbert can do it. Especially the 2 terrible games that he was coming off of. He was looking to bounce back, and he picked you apart. If I do that on Friday in my dumb, idiot 1 year of organized football brain, how the hell did Jonathan Gannon not know that? Get him off his mark. Make him feel uncomfortable. Make him think something different is coming. Instead, it's hard to look at anyone and see them more comfortable than a quarterback taking on this Eagles defense. Oh, they're just going to wait for me to make a mistake? I'll just stick to the easy stuff. Thanks, guys. Ridiculous. You know what else is ridiculous? Steven Singer and the perfect price. Huh? How's that for a segue? My friend Steven Singer. First off, I know everyone says they hate this guy. I love this guy. But here's why people say they hate him. With all the shopping delays, with all the fulfillment issues expected for this holiday season, Christmas shopping has come earlier than ever. Luckily, Steven Singer Jewelers is giving every other jeweler out there another reason to hate him, because Steven Singer Jewelers has the #1 gift this holiday season, diamond stud earrings. And Steven is fully stocked with the most beautiful, best value, real diamond studs anywhere. Choose a great pair of Anita diamond stud earrings for under $270. Under $270 diamond earrings? Sound familiar? That's because that was the same price as last year. He's not jacking up prices like everybody else. Forget about that. Just the perfect price every single day. No sales, no discounts, no BS. Steven Singer Jewelers. Real diamond studs are flawless to the eye. Absolutely beautiful. I bought my wife a pair of these a couple of years ago. She absolutely loves them. You can trade them in, by the way. You can trade in your diamond studs anytime and receive exactly what you paid towards a new pair. And all that will be an unbeatable full 100-day, 100% money-back guarantee, making it no-risk shopping early for the holidays. Go now to IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Always with fast and free shipping. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price, the perfect price every single time at IHateStevenSinger.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into our Rothman Orthopaedics post-game report where we're going to hear from Nick Sirianni, and we're also going to hear from Javon Hargrave. Jalen Hurts was just his normal great self. I mean, he took it on the chin, blamed himself, talked about the throws that he wanted back. I mean, really, I nothing but praise for that guy. When I look at Nick Sirianni, he's got to have another conversation with his defensive coordinator. Here's Nick Sirianni after the game when he was asked whether or not he wanted to see Jonathan Gannon mix things up a little bit defensively speaking.
Jonathan, mix it up enough to your satisfaction?
You know, obviously, anytime you play a quarterback like Justin Herbert, there's no surprise. I think he's a good quarterback. We all know he's a good quarterback. You got to be on your A game, and you got to be, and it starts with us as coaches. And so, and I'm not going to say, you know, Jonathan anything because that's, you know, my name's on that, right? So whatever happens out there on that field, my name's on. Offensively, defensively, I'm not the offensive coordinator, I'm the head coach. So, but again, it's all of us together. So it's myself. It's first myself getting the right calls and putting the players in position, then Jonathan, and then the players executing. And so, of course, again, you know, when a guy comes away, he's 84%. You're going to say that we didn't do our job, right? And so we just got to be better. Again, I'll have to go look at the tape and look at all the calls, but obviously not good enough starting with myself and by the defense there with the pass defense.
There you go. Okay, he's trying to take some blame there because I'm the head coach. My name's on this too. It's not just him. We talk about this. Okay. I really want to hear the reports this week that Jonathan Gannon and Nick Sirianni really got into it. They're battling it out about what they could do different as a defensive play call that Jonathan Gannon is. But what I'd really love to hear is maybe, you know, Nick Sirianni, maybe he's a little too kid glove. Maybe he's not as forceful as you would want him to be. Oh, he really leaned into him. Okay. Well, apparently they didn't stick with him too much. So I think the people that actually need to step up and say something are your team leaders. And I'll go back to this point again. If you have Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson going up to Nick Sirianni saying, hey, let's run the football. It's working. Let's keep doing it. Where's Javon Hargrave? Where's Fletcher Cox? Where's Darius Slay? Where's Rodney McLeod? Where are these guys coming out saying, this ain't it? So every once in a while, we're going to have to be aggressive here. So, like, before the show, I went back and I watched that last drive in its entirety, the game-winning drive by the Chargers. And I was like, really, you didn't send one guy? Let me make sure before I just like, I was almost said tear my hair out of my head, which was a while ago. Before I just completely gouged my eyes out in frustration, let me look at that last drive one more time. No blitz, not one, rushing 4 every single time. And guess what? Those guys didn't get home. Oh, and by the way, Josh Sweat, you know, he came around against the Lions. Josh Sweat, he can make it. Josh Sweat wasn't on the field. Josh Sweat was in the blue tent. All the more reason to try to send somebody to get pressure on Justin Herbert. So, yeah, Nick Sirianni, let's see how this little meeting goes with Jonathan Gannon, and we'll cross our fingers that he actually gets something out of it. Here's Nick Sirianni on the final drive of the game. He was asked specifically, he said, our friend Dave Zangaro, NBC Sports Philly, asked Nick Sirianni about what he would like to see from Jonathan Gannon on that final drive.
Well, obviously, you want, like, they kept him in the 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Obviously, you want to be able to get the stop. And I thought they did a good job of not jumping off sides. Chargers, I thought they might kick the field goal after they went the no-brainer, but they didn't, and hats off to them. They executed. But anytime they convert on a short yardage, I mean, I know that the percentages are high on short yardage. I'm not sure exactly what they are league-wide, but obviously you just want to get a stop in that scenario. And so I'll have to look at the tape of the execution, the call and everything like that. But you just want to get a stop there in that scenario and give the ball back to the offense. I mean, that's the name of the game, and that's what you want to happen in that scenario.
So what you're saying, Nick Sirianni, is that the best thing you could say your defense did on that final drive was not jump off sides. So what you're saying is the best thing you could say about them is they did the bare minimum of not making a penalty. I feel like I'm losing my damn mind if you allow this to go on as the head coach. Oh, my name's on it too, Nick Sirianni. My name's on it. Oh, my name's on it too. I'm not just the play caller. I'm the head coach. It's all in my name. Well, then what are you going to do about it? And to the veterans of this team, what are you going to do about it? Because if you're going to sit there and you're going to complain and you're going to say, I don't make that call, well, then where's the conversation on the side to actually do something that would put you in a better position to actually make a play? Instead of being Fletcher Cox saying, I don't get paid to be a defensive coordinator or make plays or make a play on a screen, how about you have a conversation with a defensive coordinator? You're going to be here. You apparently wanted to be here. You spiked the football when you weren't traded away. So how about actually making this a little bit better for everybody, a little easier on our eyes? Because it's just one of those things that's so glaringly obvious. Like, I can stomach what Nick Sirianni did in this game, and the offense has scored 24 points in this game, and Jalen Hurts struggling in the early goings, because I believed in this game plan. This game plan was a good game plan. Maybe they should have come out a little earlier and run the football. That's like, okay, that's one thing you can look at. But at the same time, you're going to think that the Chargers are going to be expecting that, so you want to try to balance it out a little bit, catch them off guard. They weren't able to do that. They almost were able to do that if Jalen Hurts would have hit Dallas Goedert down the field, but they didn't. But I get why Nick Sirianni would come out and throw the ball a little bit more than we were expecting. He came around very quickly. He came around. They started running the football again, had a lot of success, and then they never got away from it from that point on. It was the backbone of their offense in this game. But Jonathan Gannon was aggressive early, and then nothing late. Nothing. Couple of blitzes in the first half, nothing really in the second half, especially nothing on that final drive. And the best thing your head coach, Jonathan Gannon, your head coach can say about you is that your defense didn't jump off sides. And by the way, I want to make sure I get this in, because we did have a Derek Barnett sighting, ladies and gentlemen. That was fun. Derek Barnett on a 3rd and 6, jumps off sides on what was I want to make sure I get this timing right. It was the touchdown. Yeah, it was a touchdown to let him go up 24-17. And on that series, Derek Barnett on a 3rd and 6 jumps off sides. 3rd and 1. They think they scored 2 plays later on that one. So that was fun. So that was one penalty they did have, but not on the last drive though. Not on the last drive where they score. They get the field goal. Good times. That was Nick Sirianni after the game. Here's one of the leaders, Javon Hargrave, that I'd love to hear talk to his head coach. This is him when he was notified. I don't know who this is. I don't know who this is asking the question, but he was asked about getting 1 sack at home so far this year. One of them.
I mean, every week is different. I think this week they were just getting the ball out so quick. It was kind of hard to get to him.
Yeah, but I mean, in 4 games, you guys have only had 1 sack at home.
I guess we just got to watch the film and see that. I really didn't know that's how it was at home.
How frustrating is it when the quarterback's getting the ball out that quickly and he can't get home in a short amount of time?
I mean, it's definitely frustrating. Like I said, we got great rushers, so you really don't get a chance to show it when he getting the ball out like that.
Who's the great rusher? We got great rushers. No, you don't. I can refute that with a fact. No, you don't. You're saying you have great rushers, and that's cool that you have confidence in your teammates and you're being nice, you're being a swell teammate, but you don't. If you had great rushers, we wouldn't be having this problem and be talking about the same thing every single week. Maybe if Jim Schwartz was your defensive coordinator and you'd go, all right, you know what? Well, the rushers, they're getting home. All right. Not now. Rushers aren't getting home now. So where's the adjustment? I don't see any adjustment. That's where your leader's got to come out and actually have a conversation with a defensive coordinator. But this is what Javon Hargrave had to say when he was asked about actually doing something different defensively and wishing if they would have blitzed more. Would you guys have blitzed more? Here's Javon Hargrave.
And for us, we just got to keep rushing and hopefully one time he give us a chance and we just make the play.
Should there have been more blitzes?
Yeah, I ain't the defensive coordinator, so I don't really, I don't do things like that, so I just play what I play.
We're going to play a game right now, and the name of this game is, well, what's he going to say? And that's what a lot of people like to play after somebody gives a non-committal answer or sidesteps a question, as Javon Hargrave just did right there. So here's the game. What's he going to say? Well, what's he going to say? Hey, what do you think of your defensive coordinator? Do you wish you would have blitzed more? What's he going to say? Well, hey, I'm not defensive coordinator. What else is he going to say other than that? I'll tell you what else he's going to say. no, we couldn't do that this particular game because this. We couldn't do this particular game because Mike Williams was getting it off the line of scrimmage. We couldn't do that this particular game because Eckler does a great job actually running past the blitz, recognize where it's coming from, and then being able to run past the blitz so we don't want to get burned on that particular play. Justin Herbert is too elusive to try to attack. Like, any one of those answers would have been better than, that ain't my job, which is what Javon Hargrave just gave us. Any one of those other answers would have been a far better answer than, don't know, not the defensive coordinator, which is basically what Javon Hargrave just said. Any one of those would have been better. At least I would have been able, there was a reason for it, not skirting the question. Tell me why. I would assume during these meetings, Jonathan Gannon just doesn't come in with a playbook, slap it down on the table, put it up on the screen, and go, all right, guys, this is what we're doing. Take it or leave it. This is it. This is the game plan. I'm sure at some point he involves the why. This is why we're not going to be aggressive in a series like that at the end of a game. This is why we're not going to go after the quarterback. This is why we're not going to blitz. I would assume that would come up, especially after you had so much success doing it against the Lions. And yes, I know it's the Lions, but every once in a while, send a blitz, make Justin Herbert think what's coming. Didn't you learn about that through the Raiders? Derek Carr, the cleanest jersey imaginable. Justin Herbert, if he never ran, would have the cleanest jersey imaginable. I'm losing my mind, folks. I'm losing my damn mind. That was your Rothman Orthopedics post-game report with all the fine sounds of the locker room, press conferences, and all that stuff. I do give a lot of credit once. I want to acknowledge one more time because that drive really was everything. And that final drive of the game, or at least, excuse me, where they tied it 24-24. Nick Sirianni was on point. I was waiting for them just to get pass happy. They didn't do it. Jalen Hurts on that drive was on point with his throws, with his legs, everything. He made some big-time plays, and I love seeing that as a guy that wants to see Nick Sirianni improve and a guy that wants to see Jalen Hurts improve in the football field and actually get results. I loved every second of that. And I was thinking to myself, wow, the head coach is doing well. The play caller head coach is doing well. Jalen Hurts is doing well. Why the hell is Jonathan Gannon botching this one? Because it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. So I'm really rooting for that conversation to happen throughout this week. Let me tell you about the great people at Rothman Orthopedics, ladies and gentlemen, how much I love Rothman Orthopedics. When you have an orthopedic issue, you need a physician who eats, sleeps, and breathes orthopedics. You need an exceptionally specialized Rothman Orthopedics physician. They not only specialize in orthopedics, but each of their physicians only focuses in on one area of the body, which means you can have the confidence, get past the pain, and be what you were. Visit them in one of their 30-plus locations in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, including their 4 orthopedic-only urgent cares. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Ooh, BetQL. So you know that Kyler Murray guy? He missed the game yesterday. Well, the Cardinals still won. Well, the line was at 2.5 for the Cardinals to score three or more touchdowns. So I looked at it. Beep, bop, bop, beep, bop, bop, bop. BetQL. BetQL's like, go right ahead. So I made the bet for a Colt McCoy-led Arizona offensive attack to score 3 touchdowns at least. They got the 3. I think they scored 4, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, they got the over, and I won a couple of bucks. Christmas come early for me. Thank you, BetQL. BetQL is fantastic. You got to download the BetQL app. You'll need it to make the smart bets to get the edge over your sportsbook. Their best bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to make sure that you get the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports, and they give you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from point spreads, over-unders, player props as well. If you don't want to use the computer model and prefer to do your own research, BetQL has all the necessary tools for your betting research needs. Everything from sharp data, line movement, team summaries, lineups, injuries, breaking news, and even a leaderboard to help you track your own success. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to get the BetQL app. How about everybody over there at Steak and Maine? Thanksgiving, Saturday, on the way back. Boom, Steak and Maine. 2-pound tomahawk steak, Cavada Cellars, Pinot Noir. I'll be in heaven, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be in heaven. Just stomach full of turkey. Be done with that. Turkey, please. Fine. Tomahawk steak meal for this guy. Whether you like to dine in their casual bar and patio, whether you like to dine in their upscale steakhouse, their sushi bar, whatever it might be, Steak and Maine's got it all, folks. They even got the party table in the back that rotates. You can share your platters. I always tell you about the fine tomahawk steak. The crab dip, best crab dip I ever had in my life. I'm not kidding you. It is just spectacular. Steakandmain.com for more information. Voted #1 place for steaks in America by the Travel Channel and the Cooking Channel. Make sure you check it out for yourself. Go to steakandmain.com for more information. Open every day for lunch, dinner, as well as Sunday brunch. How about WinView? Having a lot of fun on the WinView app right now, guys. If you don't have the WinView app, you got to download the WinView app right now. It is a great time. WinView is the only game where fans can take on other fans and end the debate once and for all. Who's the biggest sports fan? You have those friends and family you think they know everything about sports. Play them in a WinView contest, and you can have them walk the walk as well as talk the talk. You want to break the monotony of family dinners and get-togethers? Holidays right around the corner. Boring. Play a little quarter of Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, any sport. You're going to have yourself a great time. While you're tracking the games on Sunday, you can also play you have somebody in your fantasy league. I'm having a good week of fantasy this week, fortunately, even with Patrick Mahomes still not putting up a lot of points. Thanks a lot, Patrick. But you know what? Right there on the side is a little WinView challenge for somebody in your league to have yourself a good time. It's a social gaming app. It's not a sports book. Social gaming app where you can win real money prizes, making predictions on the games that you love. How about our friends at PHL Sports Nation? Oh, Morning Rush today. A couple of stories, one in particular, that just, it made me feel good about me. So we'll get into that. And we'll get into that, and I hope you're following it all at PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience. But let's jump into our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Main at steakandmain.com. Can't wait to see what you guys had to say about the Eagles loss and what we've been talking about so far on the show today. Dan Schwartz checking it out. Morning, not good, no moral victories. The fact that anybody even floated the moral victory thing out after a game like that, like no. Stop it. Knock it off. What the hell, man? Oh, moral victory or just a loss? It's just a loss. Moral victory is the most pat on the head after your offense played well and your defense was terrible. That's not the time for a moral victory. That's just a loss. Ugh. Mally, what's happening? Kevin, what's popping? Mally, we can have every pick in the first round. It still won't matter if Howie and Jeffrey are making all the decisions. Correct? April, what's happening? Sean, how are you? Mally, amen. The picks are wasted if Howie is making them. Dan, Flyers, Sixers look good after Denver. The schedule is pretty easy too. Let's just rattle that off real quick for you, Daniel. Here you go. All right. Chargers, loss. Then at Denver, host New Orleans. Cool. Giants, Jets, bye week. Washington, Giants, Washington, Dallas. And how about Dallas losing yesterday to the Broncos? The good, Dallas lost. The bad, the Broncos looked pretty good. They have a much better run defense than anybody you faced in these last two games where you've ran the ball well. Nick Sirianni, it's on you, brother. Keep those runs coming. No matter what happens. I'm not saying you got to run the ball 25 times in the first half. That was another thing. 25 runs to 9 passes. I don't know the last time we saw anything close to that in the recent Eagles memory. So that's what you got right there. So, yes, the schedule does look a lot easier as the season goes on. Most people know that, so we'll see what happens in the not-too-distant future. Hopefully, they start off with a bang by beating the Broncos coming up this Sunday. Let me just check one more thing while I have the schedule in my hand. 4:25 game time. Get done the post-game show. That's a late night. Not as late as the prime times, obviously. What else do we have here? We got Mally, everybody. Mally, April, Dan, the Flyers, Sixers, good. T-Bro, what's up, brother? What's happening? T-Bro says, by the way, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's good. Blah, blah, blah. By the way, JG's defense is still charming toilet paper. A little too soft. It's actually, I know that's a common thing to go to, but I'm thinking right now it's making me chafe. Let's see. The quote, John Ritchie, Halfrey. Is that what John Ritchie's been saying? Halfrey? Halfrey don't know what they're doing. That's pretty good. I like that. I love John. Good morning, Farzy. Good morning, Mike. What's up there, Mike Fuji? Sean, Dan Schwartz. Every team that has the Eagles on their schedule looks at us, so this is an easy win. Sean, that's the thing. I don't know who it was. I forget who it was that called me out when I said, oh, they're doing this. This is great. Nice to see them do it. Somebody was like, oh, it's the Lions. And I was like, yeah, but they're the Eagles. Like, they're not some elite team. Folks, I will say the new microphone has been ordered. So let me just make that announcement, and hopefully that'll be the end of any audio issues we have on the show. Tough loss, Mark. What's up? What's up, Philly? What's happening, brother? T-Bro has been saying charm and soft. Very true. Sirianni had to tell Gannon, my guy, you killing my flower garden. I want to hear that on an NFL Films thing. I want to just, Jonathan, JJ, you're killing my flowers, man. I want to hear that. That would make me feel better for whatever stupid reason. Humble Philly Bull, what's happening? People should be throwing stuff at Howie Roseman, not Nick Jays. Not Nick Jays? Huh? Don't throw the draft picks. True. Teddy Bridgewater Teddy Bridgewater might have himself a game. He's a pretty decent quarterback. Wait, what? Last week he said he was the offensive coordinator. He has said that a couple of times. You're right, Dan. I have pointed that out. You're right. He says, Nick Sirianni has said multiple times, I'm the offensive coordinator. And I'm like, did you just demote yourself? Ray's checking in. The Eagles. Ray, one thing I'll say about you, I like that you wait and you like look at the other comments and you're just like I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm saying this with admiration. Like, I think you observe and then boom, truth bombs from Ray. I love it. The Eagles would have to go 7-2 to have any kind of chance to make a wild card, or 6-3 to make the playoffs. This is true. These are facts. Thank you. Just the losses, right? Dallas will be testing starters resting starters in week 17. Yeah, that's pretty much accurate. It's unbelievable, folks, that you can watch a team make adjustments as well as they were making adjustments in the early goings of this game, or excuse me, in the early goings of these last 2 weeks with a head coach, with Nick Sirianni and all that, and actually look at it and go, oh, at some. Let me finish this point before I get to that. You can actually look at a guy like Nick Sirianni and see them make adjustments. And then a guy that I was actually excited at the early goings when he was talking about his defense having a stinger and they're going to be aggressive and try to take the ball away and all that. You didn't get any of that from Jonathan Gannon in this game. And I've seen Nick Sirianni improve as a head coach and play caller over these last 2 weeks. Granted, the competition hasn't been optimal, but still, philosophy-wise, you could take a lot away from it. Jonathan Gannon, epic fail in this game. Ray says, I'm the old guy. I guess that's why he's just sitting and watching, just waiting to pounce in. Whatever it is, I appreciate it, Ray. April saying, as soon as they got tested, they fell apart again. Wait, huh? Oh, the Eagles. Yes, that's true. As soon as they got tested. You're absolutely right. Thanks everyone that checked in on our social media check-in, brought to you by Steak and Main and steakandmain.com. Let's get to our Let's get to our morning rush, brought to you by Sky Motorcars and SkyMotorcars.com. Flyers, great win over the weekend. You love to see it with a win over the Capitals. That was great. Martin Jones, don't call me Martin Jones, in net for the Flyers. They get the nice victory over the Capitals. Love to see that. Also, the 76ers on Friday. Well, let's get to this. Friday morning, we were talking about how they had a little meeting, Daryl Morey and Ben Simmons. And Ben Simmons basically told Daryl Morey, I'm not ready yet. And Daryl Morey's like, well, could you walk me through a little bit of this? A little bit more detail than just you're not ready yet? Sixers growing increasingly frustrated. I guess that was the straw that broke the camel's back as far as everything else goes with the Sixers and Ben Simmons. And the Sixers have resumed fining Ben Simmons. Here's an unpopular opinion. You know, people like me and just fans in general, as a matter of fact, we like to assume that we know what's going on. And we like to observe from afar and give opinions. Let me go ahead and assume here I don't know as much as the 76ers know about Ben Simmons and his situation. I haven't talked to Ben Simmons in 3 years. Sixers are right there with him. They were there when he addressed the team. They've had conversations with him. I think they would know this situation when it comes to a personal matter with Ben Simmons better than any of us. And let's face it, even if they're not getting from Ben Simmons, I'm sure they have sources that are letting them know what the hell is going on in other aspects. Maybe not specifics, but know what's going on. The Sixers fining Ben Simmons is how the Sixers are calling BS on Ben Simmons for any of his claims right now. And they could get away with doing this because Daryl Morey laid it out for you pretty clearly in the media session that they had during media day when things opened up and everyone got to Camden. Daryl Morey says it's outlined pretty well in the CBA what we could do with Ben Simmons if he doesn't play. And I guarantee you, Daryl Morey absolutely looked up every little nuance, every possible loophole, and examined it thoroughly and played ball because he doesn't want to come off as a hard-hearted guy. Neither does Doc Rivers. And they say, oh, you know what, Ben Simmons, you don't want to come out here, you don't want to practice? Oh, you're saying it's for personal reasons? All right, keep us abreast of everything. He doesn't do it, fined. $366,000 for a game check. That's going to keep on happening until Ben cooperates. I know this is an unpopular opinion, but the Sixers hold the cards here. And I think they are going to dig in more than anybody's dug in, and this proves it. They're willing to go. Like, here's what they're saying. The Sixers are saying, with all the great, what do you call it, maturation, all the great, I'm searching for a word, I can't think of it for a stupid reason. All the great progress, we'll say, that society has done with mental health. They're saying that Ben Simmons is trying to reset all the positive vibes that people have tried to send to people with mental health issues. And they're looking at Ben Simmons going, nope, not buying it. You're not telling us what's going on. We're not buying it. You're fined. Do you know how much scrutiny the Sixers would be in if everybody else believed Ben Simmons? Instead, everyone's looking at it going, good for the Sixers. Ben, keep him abreast. Let him know what's happening. You're not going to do it? You're fined. I very rarely like to side with the man and a corporation. Sixers are 100% right to do what they're doing right now. And I think they know a little bit more than me about this situation. I look forward to hearing from Ben. As I've been saying, I look forward to hearing from Ben. Because like you, Sixers fans, the Sixers brass is looking at this and going, this doesn't add up. This is not making a lot of sense. And until we allow it to make sense, or until we know why this is happening, we're going letter of the law with it, Benjamin. Letter of the law. But on a positive note, hey, the Sixers are really a basketball team this year. That's fun to watch. I love seeing that. That's good. Good job, Sixers. And Joel Embiid, please don't burn it out too early, my friend. 30 points, 15 rebounds against the Pistons. Won a couple of bucks there as well. Thanks, BetQL. But keep doing what you're doing this season. Love seeing it. Tyrese Maxey taking steps forward. Thibault out with the COVID protocol. Harris out. Danny Green's out with an injury. Like, all these guys are not playing. B-Ball Paul's getting reps for this squad. This is insane. Sixers backing at it tonight, by the way. Look forward to seeing that. I'm going to the game tomorrow night. As a matter of fact, Tuesday night. You got Bucks are in town. Looking forward to that. My boy Bennett, kind enough to invite me along. Looking forward to that. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, everybody. Much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hopefully tomorrow we can talk about maybe Nick Sirianni coming out and talking about a serious conversation he had with Jonathan Gannon about blitzing and being aggressive. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. A little bit later today, I'm going to be joining my friend Chris DeGaulle on his radio show. 990 The Answer at 7:15. 7:45, I'm going to be on Fox 29 again with Alex and Mike and my good friend Gary Cobb as well, so don't miss that. If you want more bonus me, well, who doesn't, right? Jim Hyden produced the program. Much appreciated. This is a Buzz Sports Entertainment production. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you hit subscribe on our YouTube channel as well. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya.